everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, I've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin for some time now. And, you know, so I read up on it, and I have to admit that that didn't really help very much. The more I read, the less I understood about it. Now, from what I do understand, it is a currency that exists only on the internet. And it was created by an anonymous person. We don't know who created it. It could have been a financial genius, or it could have been just a 13-year-old kid in his mother's basement. So it could have been a brilliant idea, or it could be just a prank. Now, Bitcoin can be exchanged for goods and services and cash. But in order to get cash for Bitcoin, you have to find somebody that wants to buy Bitcoin, and then they give you the money and you transfer it from your Bitcoin wallet to their Bitcoin wallet. But you can't go into a bank and exchange Bitcoin for cash. But you can buy goods and services on some e-tailers. Some online businesses do accept Bitcoin. You just can't redeem it for cash anywhere, or you can't go into a grocery store and buy some milk with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is not regulated at all. It's out there online, and it's outside of regulation. So it's not regulated, and it's not supported by any government. Now, there was a time when much of the world was on what was called the gold standard. So theoretically, if you had, say, a $2 bill, it was backed up by $2 worth of gold. And I guess you could go to the government, theoretically, and give them that $2, and they would have to give you $2 worth of gold. But nations are worth more than just the gold that they have. Gold is not the only resource that a nation has, so it really didn't make much sense to stick with the gold standard, because that would limit how much an economy could grow. So there is no actual gold that you can redeem your money for. But a US dollar, for example, is backed up and guaranteed by the United States government. And a euro is backed up by whatever European government issues it. Now, monetary values do rise and fall, but they don't usually vary very much, except for under extreme circumstances, like the recession that we recently had. The US dollar lost a lot of value. Believe me, I know. I would go to Japan and exchange a dollar for yen and be very disappointed at what I got back. But generally, monetary values vary within a certain very small variance. Bitcoin is not backed up by any entity, so it is essentially worth what the people who use it think it's worth. I understand that right now, Bitcoin is worth a lot of money, theoretically. But tomorrow it could be worth nothing. And that's what some financial experts are predicting. They say that right now there's a Bitcoin bubble, and that the value of Bitcoin is going to plunge dramatically at some time in the future. Now, Bitcoin is not the only money that exists online. there is a lot of money that exists online. Just last week, Disney bought a whole lot of Fox's assets. Well, they didn't walk over to Fox's office with a whole bunch of cash. There was simply a wire transfer from one bank to another, which really, when you think about it, is not much different than a wire transfer from one Bitcoin wallet to another Bitcoin wallet. The difference is that the money that was exchanged between Disney and Fox is backed up by the U.S. and possibly other governments. And as I said, that money will retain, no matter what happens in the economy, that money will retain a certain amount of value. Exactly what, we're not sure, but most likely its value is not going to change that much unless there is a big crisis. Bitcoin, on the other hand, could lose all of its value today. You know, tomorrow you could wake up and Bitcoin could be worth a dollar or a dime or a penny or nothing at all. That's because it's not backed up by anything real. Matter of fact, if you want to, you can create your own version of Bitcoin. There are websites that you can go to that will help you do it. I checked that out, but since I was not interested in actually creating an Honest John online currency, I didn't actually go through with it, so I don't know for sure whether they charge you or not to create your own e-currency. I'm sure if they do, they make you pay for it in real world American or some other country's dollars. And if I had created Honest John e-currency, I doubt that any of the e-tailers that currently accept Bitcoin would accept it. And they would be right not to. I'm certainly not backing up Honest John currency with my bank account. Honest John currency exists only in my head. But nobody is backing up Bitcoin either, so tomorrow, like I said, Bitcoin could be worth nothing. And there would be nothing anybody could do about it. There would be no recourse. If you are heavily invested in Bitcoin, all of that could just disappear like that. So, it really is imaginary money. Thanks for listening.